Okay, hello everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Yes. Okay, yes, Amar, good evening. Uh, Good evening, Akansha. Good evening. Good evening to all of you. Yes. So let's start our discussion of today's important news with respect to our exam. Right? Uh, okay, yes, welcome back. So, first news which we are going to discuss is the recently first India and Central Asian nations national security advisors met. Right, this is the first time when these India and Central Asian nations national security advisor meeting held. Right. So now, what is the significance? First of all, let's look at the background. So, if you look at the background of this India and Central Asia, right? So this is the first time when India and Central Asia, right? It's NSA level meeting held, NSA level, right? So few things which we have to keep in our mind with respect to this meeting and with respect to Central Asia, that recently India completed 30 years of its relationship with Central Asian countries. Now, earlier these Central Asian countries were part of erstwhile USSR. So when USSR was collapsed, so most of these Central Asian countries got independence and they became an independent nation. And from there onwards, India's relationship with these countries started. So this year 2022 marked the 30 years of celebration. So next year in your prelims exam you can expect a question in on the basis of map, because if you look at the countries in Central Asian region, right? So they can ask the countries which bordering Aral Sea. This year also in 2022 prelims exam, one question came with respect to Afghanistan, that which of the following nations border Afghanistan. Similarly, they may ask you other region, because Russia, Ukraine region is also surround to this region, Central Asian Republic. So they may ask any kind of question that, okay, which of the following countries touches or shares border with Caspian Sea, or as I mentioned, Aral Sea, or there are other seas also. So geographically this area is important. Now another aspect is that why Central Asia is important. And in this meeting it was decided, it was stressed upon that connectivity is the major area of focus. So India and Central Asian nation, because most of the Central Asian countries are landlocked countries, right? So to access these regions, the focus is on connectivity. So now my next question to all of you is that how this Central Asian region is significant to India. So let me know. Just tell me why, how this Central Asian nations are significant to India. Yes. Yes, Mamta, hello. Or significance of these nations. Significance. So what is the significance? Yes. Tell me, what is the significance? So why India is focusing more on connectivity? So again, a question may comes in mains also, right? So how this Central Asian regions are significant? Yes. Tell me. Any idea? Different kind of significance, diverse significance. See, these Central Asian region is the main significant thing is your energy security. Energy security. Then mineral security. Minerals, this region is rich in minerals. Then your regional security or global peace. Regional security. Then destination for India's investment. So favorable destination for India's investment. Now let's discuss them one by one. Right, so these are some prominent significance. Yes, yes, trade to counter China. Yes, good. Miraj, good. Yes, Shubham, minerals for trade, good. Energy security to counter terrorism. Yes, Shubham, good. Indian market, remittance. Remittance is not so much from the Central Asian region, right? Indian diaspora is not in much number, right? Protosh, yes, Kazakhstan, uranium, very good. Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, yes, gold reserve, exactly, oil and gas, nice, nice, yes, okay, important for Tapi pipeline, okay, very good. So most of you have mentioned good points. So in energy security, in terms of energy security, oil and gas, then hydropower potential is also there, hydropower, right? Then in terms of minerals, as many of you mentioned, uranium rich countries are there, uranium, right? Kazakhstan, right? Similarly, the other minerals, gold, right? And other precious minerals are there. Then regional security, since you know that recently Taliban take over Afghanistan. So, and again, from as we move beyond Afghanistan, then it is also closer to Pakistan. It is also closer to other areas like the Syria, the Iran, other regions. So, this also shares a close proximity to these terrorist infected regions or terrorist influenced region. So, if and there is a high chance that tomorrow the Taliban can influence these Central Asian Republic. Right now, these are peaceful nation, and despite having Islamic ideology, they practice moderate Islam or liberal Islam, right? So tomorrow they can be a breeding ground for terrorist organization. So it is necessary in India's interest that to maintain stability in the region, these nations should deal with terrorism, and India can play a role in strengthening their efforts against counter terrorism, right? So this regional security is of paramount for India's thing, right? So it's regional security, so proximity to Taliban. Another issue, if you look at favorable destination for investment, so as China has entered into these countries through its BRI project, and again there are other investigations, as you know that these countries are gateway to your Europe. If you look at this diagram or this representation, so these Central Asian republics are standing at the crossroad. So from here you can reach to Europe. If you look at their geographical location, then this is West Asia. Northern side, this is Russia. Eastern side, you have China. And then on this side, you have South Asia. So you look at their strategic location. Means they are at the crossroad of the important highway of the world, or important the connectivity areas. So in this, China's BRI is passing through this. India's international north-south transport corridor. If you look at India's projects, so India's projects like this INSTC, right? INSTC connecting India's, means this international north-south transport corridor is passing through this. Similarly, India's investment in Chabahar port through Iran. So through this West Asia, Iran, again you are passing through the Central Asian countries and then entering to Europe, right? So this Chabahar port, okay. Chabahar port. So again now we are discussing the connectivity through these things. Then again India is also a signatory of Ashgabat agreement to connect with this Gulf region with the Central Asian countries, Gulf region. So again another connectivity project is Ashgabat. Ashgabat agreement. India is a signatory of this agreement. India joined it. Ashgabat agreement, right, which connects this Persian Gulf to the Central Asian countries, okay, and India is member of this. So basically India want to access this region and to further access Europe, parts of Russia, like St. Petersburg, Moscow, similarly to West Asia also. So this is a favorable region for India. Then coming back to other dimension, with respect to trade, with respect to this investment, so India has many things to offer India can engage in developmental projects like the way it did in Afghanistan. India can engage in technology cooperation, technology enhancement, skill development program where we have our strength. Indian IT sector can make a inroad in these countries because these are the emerging countries. They have good favorable chances for India's. There's another thing is, if you see that how India can counter China, because these are the mainly liberal countries, democratic countries, and India is also democracy. So they have the similarity in terms of political system. The India is a democracy, they are also democracy. So we have some parallel things to common, right? So that is how this is the important of this Central Asia, and these are the connectivity project. And in this meeting of NSA meeting, it was said that connectivity is major area of focus. And again, in connectivity, other kind of connectivities, this TAPI pipeline, TAPI. And right now this area is accessed through air connectivity. Means if we see direct connectivities through air medium, right? But we are also exploring through sea route, indirectly through Iran, then Afghanistan, right? So in that way we are trying to, right now we have direct connectivity through air, right? So this is our certain areas. Okay. Okay, so what are your inputs in between? Yes, TAPI and STC good. According Kautilya's philosophy, if there exist issues with neighbor, then enhance it with the neighbor's neighborhood. Very good. Yes, defense cooperation. Yes, Kajin between India and yes, exactly. So again, there are defense cooperation. Again, India has the. Can anyone tell me that there is one country where India has the only air base outside India? Which is that country? India has only one air base outside India, and that is in which country? बताइए. My question is, India has only one air base. So where is India's air base outside India? Air base in which country? Yes, very good. Tajikistan, exactly. So Tajikistan is the country. Okay, so this is the thing. Okay, again we are not going to much detail, but again since this is the NSA level meet, the focus is on connectivity. So basic idea we should have, right? And again the focus area should be mapping the focus area with respect to the kind of projects are there. INSTC, Ashgabat agreement, right? What is Connect Central Asia 2012 policy, right? India has a dedicated policy called Connect Central Asia. It is 2012 policy. So these small basic we should have, right? INSTC starts from Bombay to Leo St. Petersburg, from which country it passes, who all countries are participant of INSTC, like Azerbaijan is participant or not, right? Iran, what is the path, through which path it passes. Similarly, Caspian Sea, who all shares border. Similarly, your this Aral Sea. So different kind of water bodies which are present in these countries, these region, the important rivers. So geographically you should know these areas, because this is one area where UPSC has asked question in the previous years in prelims. In mains, this kind of question will be asked because 30 year of relationship has been completed. Okay, right? Now moving to the next news, that is the India Inequality Report. Next is India Inequality Report 2022. So who released this report? Who released this report? Yes, tell me. Yes, India Inequality Report 2020. Who released this report? India Inequality Report. And this report basically focused this time on digital divide. But yes, very good. Protush, nice. Oxfam India. Absolutely perfect. So it is released by Oxfam India. Oxfam India. Very good. There is also a similar report. There is also a similar report known as State of Inequality. State of Inequality in India. Who released this report? State of Inequality. State of Inequality. State of Inequality in India. In India report. ये कौन रिलीज करता है? This is released by which organization? Yes, this is released by to whom? Yes. Just tell me. State of Inequality in India report. Which organization released this report? Tell me. Okay, digital divide already done. Okay. Okay. ये हो चुका है. Okay. So tell me this state of inequality in India. If it is done, then tell me which is important for this. Tell me this one. Yes. Who released this report? Because this you remember. But what about this? If UPSC asks this one. Sir, ये नहीं पता. Okay. So who knows this? State of Inequality in India report. It is released by Office of Economic Advisor, Chief Economic Advisor to PM. It is released by the Office of Chief Economic Advisor, Chief Economic Advisor, Chief Economic Advisor, right? To PM, to Prime Minister. It is released by this Chief Economic Advisor to PM, right? Okay. Now, since Rajiv sir has already taught you, so now you tell me that what this digital divide report says, what you have remembered in it, what this report said. क्या याद है आप लोगों को with respect to the digital divide? Let me check your memory. सर ने आपको पढ़ाया है, so how much you remember digital divide के बारे में, क्या इसका findings था? What are the findings of report? Yes, tell me. अच्छा ये नहीं पता. ओके कोई बात नहीं, अब आप लोग पता कर लीजिए. Yes, now tell me what is the finding of the report. कुछ याद है? हल्का फुल्का आइडिया. This is just a kind of revision since sir has taught you, but let me check whether you are listening the sir carefully or not. बताइए. So what this report said and what is the recommendation of the report? Women are less in digital platform. Okay. Male access to phone. Yes, very good. Very good. सही है, अच्छा है, good. और क्या बताया? So this is about the gender. So you are telling me about gender. Okay. You are telling me about in terms of gender. जेंडर डिवाइड. वेरी गुड. और क्या क्या है इसमें जेंडर के अलावा? यू हैव गिवन मी वन डायमेंशन अबाउट द डिवाइड, दैट इज जेंडर डिवाइड इन टर्म्स ऑफ जेंडर. और भी डायमेंशन बताई थी इस रिपोर्ट ने. रिपोर्ट सेज अबाउट कंप्यूटर एक्सेस. यस, गुड. और क्या है? और क्या है? और क्या है? 1/3 वुमेन. चलो वुमेन वाला हो गया. हाँ, मार्क्स वेरी गुड. गैप बिटवीन डेमोग्राफिक्स एंड रीजन. यस, वेरी गुड. हाँ ठीक है. ओके, गुड गुड, नाइस. सो इट मीन्स यू रिमेंबर. एंड व्हाट वाज द रिकमेंडेशन? यस, वेरी गुड, बहुत अच्छा, नाइस. और रिकमेंडेशन क्या है? सो बेसिकली द रिपोर्ट डिस्कस द डिवाइड इन द डिफरेंट डोमेन. जोग्राफिकल डिवाइड, क्लास डिवाइड, right? Accessibility divide, right? Again, household divide. So divide in different terms. gender, household level, urban versus rural, household, economic class, class level divide, then geographical divide, right? So these are the things. And solutions, what are the solutions? Solutions क्या थे? And what the solutions suggested by report? Solution की dimension क्या थी? So this is about the divide. What are the solutions? Solutions क्या क्या थे? Yes. What are solutions? Solutions provided by the report. Yes. Yes. Skills awareness. EPG, Artshala, GEM. Yes. GEM, Trinity, BharatNet. See, solutions should be again dimension wise. Solutions should again dimension wise. So what is the issue? If you look at these problem, this household, rural versus urban. So first is solution about accessibility. First is about the accessibility. Then second, affordability. Affordability. Then infrastructure. Then literacy rate. Literacy, or you can say awareness, right? And finally, the grievance redressal mechanism. These are the major areas. Grievance redressal mechanism. Then you can expand these points. So suppose if some health professional cheated you, if there is any online education company, edutech company, which cheated you, so where you will reach, or is a platform to complain? So there should be some grievance redressal mechanism, especially the people who are vulnerable, where they will go. So that is the major recommendation with respect to accessibility, with respect to affordability, with respect to infrastructure, with respect to literacy. And then you can expand these points. So this is the way to remember the things. Okay? Rest is fine. Rest already sir has covered. Okay, so this was a kind of revision, right? So these are the dimensions, these are the areas on which you may expand them, right? Okay, moving to the next one. Next is, what is Sherpa track diplomacy? What is Sherpa track in diplomacy? First of all, what is Sherpa track? What is Sherpa track? Yes, tell me. What is Sherpa track? हाँ जी बताइए, क्या है शेरपा ट्रैक? व्हाट इज शेरपा ट्रैक, बताइए जी. ट्रैक टू डिप्लोमेसी पता है, ये नहीं पता. ओके, समथिंग रिलेटेड टू नेपाल. ठीक है, नॉट समथिंग रिलेटेड, ओनली दिस वर्ड इज पिक्ड अप फ्रॉम नेपाल, बट ओके, कुछ तो पता है मिराज को, राइट? बट यस, ओनली दिस थिंग इज रिलेटेड, दिस वर्ड इज बीइंग टेकन फ्रॉम नेपाल, इट एज अ थिंग, बट नॉट दिस थिंग. शेरपा ट्रैक, इट इज ओके. माउंट एवरेस्ट रिलेटेड है. शेरपा इज अ ट्राइबल इन. Yes, okay. So see, Sherpa is not a tribal. Sherpa is a term which is used for a guide in the Nepali language. So Sherpa means when you will go to Mount Everest. So you need, because finally when somebody tries to climb Mount Everest, they need someone to guide because of the rough terrain. So one Sherpa, that is the guide which accompanies you. That is the meaning of Sherpa actually. But in case of diplomacy, it is different. So recently we all know that India has taken over the G20 presidency. And see, the G20 summit is going to held next year. But India has taken over this presidency and now background work is already started. So for this 1 year, India is having this presidency, and the actual summit will be held next year when the delegates, when the foreign leaders will come. But to prepare for that ground, to prepare for that meeting, the groundwork is already done right now. And for that, the officials from different countries, the participant countries, and certain important organizations which are part of this G20 grouping, their officials are keep meeting, right? So there is a working group in which the representatives of each nation, right? Remember the way you have a representative when you climb Everest, because suppose I am going to climb Everest, but I need a guide to tell me that what should be the way, or there is a rough climate, rough terrain, right? How to handle it. So there is some representative of mine. If there is any case, any issue happen, then he is going to represent me, right? Similarly, when suppose the leader is there, Narendra Modi is there, but it is not possible for Narendra Modi to meet every time, or to discuss all the agenda, everything. So on behalf of him, or on behalf of any country, there is one representative officer. It can be any designated officer. So that officer discusses with the entire group. That number of countries are meeting. Then they discuss agenda. That okay, what our leaders will discuss after 1 year. What are the priority areas where G20 as a group should focus. So that is how Sherpa track. So basically it is a working group. It is basically a working group which comprises the officials, representatives of nations. It consists of representatives, and these are representatives nothing but officials, right? So representatives, and they are the officials of the respective nations and organizations who are going to participate in this summit, G20 summit, right? And there are other groups also, other tracks also. So Sherpa track is one of the track, right? Fine. Okay. Yes, in between now, who has joined? Yes, Dheeraj, good evening. Yes. And one more person, Amu. Yes, Anu. Okay. Next is Swami Fund. What is this Swami Fund? Next is Swami Fund. Swami Fund. What is this? What is this? Tell me. What is this fund? Haji, what is this Swami Fund? Just let me know. What is this fund? What is the purpose of this fund? Funding mid-income houses. Yes, very good. Manglish, good. What about other people? See, its full form is spatial window. If you look at its full form is spatial window for affordable for affordable and mid-income houses. Mid-income, because UPSC can confuse you with it. In place of mid-income, it can write lower income or higher income, right? Income houses, mid-income houses fund. So basically, the you all know that whenever housing projects are undertaken, means suppose there is any real estate developer, there is some real estate developer who is going to develop mid-income houses in a some in certain bracket, right? Now we all know that these large house projects require huge money. So down the line, what happens that out of fund crunch, these projects either remain in between, partially completed or partially incomplete, or they out of the company which has undertaken that project, it may go bankrupt, or some COVID like incident happens due to which flow of money disrupted. And since these projects require a huge amount of money, so usually they are financed by some bank or some financial institution. So out of which what happened that due to some reason, if this project developer is undergoes under some financial debt, and out of that debt it is unable to execute the project, then what it will do? So to support such kind of project, the incomplete project, the brownfield project, or the project which are registered with RERA. RERA registered means Real Estate Regulatory Authority certified projects, but somehow they are not completed. They are stuck in between. So to support them, this fund is created. That's why its name is a special window. A special window. This is a special window where these debt-based funds, debt-based projects are supported by this special fund, so that the project gets complete in time, or at least the issue of debt financing, from where I will meet my debt, can be sorted out. This is administered by Ministry of Finance, and SBI is the partner. SBI Venture Cap, SBI Cap is there. So SBI is the participant bank in it. It is the SBI funded. Okay, so it is the SBI backed. So SBI Capital Fund is providing. So SBI is the bank which is responsible for it. So one of the branch of SBI. Okay, right? Nice. So this is basic, and this is not directly providing you loan. One more thing, UPSC may confuse you that it is directly providing loan for some. No, it is about debt financing. Already the loan has been taken, and to overcome those debt, it will provide you a cushion. So this is a fund to the project developers to fund those debt indirect way. It is not directly to start building project. When you are under debt, so to give you some cushion, this is there. So these small details you should know. Next is Singpur Cave. Next is Singpur. Singpur Cave. So where this Singpur Cave? Where is this? लोकेशन क्या है इसकी सिंघनपुर की? Where is this Singpur Cave? Chhattisgarh. Yes, good. In Chhattisgarh, which area? Which region? Which region? Which region? Yes, Chhattisgarh is correct. Yes, Manglish. But in Chhattisgarh, which area? Chhattisgarh is huge. Okay, not an issue. Actually, this is 20 kilometer from Raigad. So 20 kilometer from Raigad in Chhattisgarh. It was in news. See, this is the site where the idols, where the sculptures are 30,000 before Christ, 30,000 BC old site. It has similarity with respect to Bhimbetka. It has many of the similarity with respect to Bhimbetka, and the sculptures which discovered from this site, they are 30,000 BC old, right? Not just 3,000, 30,000, right? So you can say that kind of prehistoric in nature, and they have similarity like Bhimbetka. And if you see Bhimbetka again in Madhya Pradesh, so a kind of similar region, central India region. And again, these are there, means they are famous for their painting, the hunting scenes, right? Some of the artifacts are there, the wall paintings. So for those things, it is famous, right? Some pattern, joyful patterns. So this way you should have an idea, right? Okay. Yes. Oh. Next is, which is the next news? Corporate exercise, CORPAT. So between which two countries? Corporate exercise. Yes. So between which two countries? Corporate. Between which two countries? Yes. So it is a bilateral exercise between what? Which part of the service? So but it is a bilateral exercise. Bilateral exercise. Which part of the service is included? Which part? Which service is involved? Which service? Which service? It is actually a bilateral exercise between the navies. Between the navies of India and Indonesia. India and Indonesia. Right? So you should know this kind of exercise, because UPSC in the past has asked about the different bilateral exercises, and they can give you in the match the following, that which of the following are correctly matched. Okay. Next news is Angkor Wat. So recently, the External Affairs Minister of India acknowledged and highlighted the India's effort to restore this complex structure, right? Angkor Wat, famous temple of Cambodia. Angkor Wat. Right? So this is in Cambodia. So in which centuries which was developed, which dynasty and which ruler? Which dynasty and which century? Yes. Which dynasty? Dynasty and the time period when it was done, and the ruler. Three things are important. It was not Buddhist. Earlier it was Hindu temple. Later on it converted into Buddhist. Earlier it was the Hindu temple. Later on it converted to Buddhist. Not Chalukya. Chalukya was not there. It was the Khmer Empire. Khmer. Khmer Empire. It was the Hindu kingdom in Cambodia region, Khmer Empire, and the name of the ruler is your this Suryavarman. Suryavarman II. Suryavarman II, and time is 12th century. In 12th century AD, it was completed. So earlier it was constructed as a Hindu temple. So earlier it was a temple dedicated to Lord Vishnu, right? Vishnu, and later on it transferred into Buddhist one, right? So this is about this Angkor Wat, and again it is famous for its pillars, for its hydraulic design, its architecture. Those are the other aspects, right? Another temple which was in news, we have discussed earlier also, this Ramappa temple. Ramappa temple, or famously known as Kakatia Rudreshwar temple. So again, this is famous Kakatia Rudreshwar temple, built by Kakatia Emperor, also known as Ramappa temple. Ramappa temple. In 2021, it got the UNESCO Heritage Site. 2021 UNESCO tag, right? And Ramappa was the one of the noble of this Kakatia ruler. So this was the first. This was the one of the kind of temple, right, which is based on the name of the noble, not the ruler, right? Ramappa was the noble, one of the you can say general of this Kakatia empire, right? And again, it is famous for its the rocks and its structure. It is famous for its thousand kind of pillars, different pillars, beautiful pillars. So that's why it got the tag of UNESCO Heritage Site, right? Okay, and it was constructed during the time of Rudradev and Rechala Rudra. But actually, it is the Ramappa. It is the general, one of the general of Kakatia Empire. Okay, so this is all for today's news. Right, these are the prominent news which I found to discuss in today's lecture. These are some prominent news with respect to your exam. Then we'll meet next week for other news, right? So keep practicing. Anything else? Yes? Anything else? So we'll meet next week, and do your hard work. Keep studying, right? And practice as much as you can. Follow the newspaper regularly, right? Okay. Right. So thank you, everyone. We'll meet next week.